Hey everybody, welcome to the video. In today's video, I'm really excited. We're gonna be doing things to this thing. It's gonna look a lot different. We're filming this post. We did a lot of different things, so we're filming this after we did all the things we did in this video, but I wanted some time to spend with it so I could talk a little bit afterwards about how I feel about everything and when the next trail test is coming out for this thing, because we were supposed to do one and well, I'll explain it at the end of the video. Anyways, let's get right into it. Okay, so starting the whole thing off, we headed over to Redeemed Offroad. This is gonna be Brandon's shop. He's kind of one of the GX overlords. He knows everything about GXs, especially in Arizona. He's my go-to shop, and he's a lot of other people's recommended go-to shops. He's also a KC dealer, great person as well. It was a great time hanging out with him, but we headed over there first just because he knows how to do everything Dobinsons. Okay, so we did a lot of aftermarket upgrades on this thing, so we're gonna go ahead and just start from the front, work our way all the way to the rear. So in the front, we replaced a few kind of just maintenance things. So lower control arms were replaced with just OEM ones. Also the CV axle was replaced. That's kind of the replacements we did and the just OEM plus stuff we did. Going into the upgrades, here's kind of where things get fun. So obviously the entire truck is Dobinsons. So everything is spec'd out with Dobinsons. I wanted to go with them for a few different reasons. The main reason, they're a spring manufacturer based in Australia. Australia is notorious for having very capable and heavy rigs. This behemoth behind me, she's heavy. I wanted something that can withstand a ton of weight, whether I have camera gear in the rear, I have a full water tank in the rear. Once I get the long range fuel tank, there's gonna be a lot of weight in the rear. I wanted to make sure I went with a company that could future-proof me with spring rates and stuff like that, and they knew how to make suspension for heavy vehicles while still being capable. So we went with Dobinsons and everything, so let's kind of talk about what we did up front. So up front and in the rear, we did MRR, the remote reservoir. These are some of the nicest shocks I've ever had. They ride so smooth on and off-road. They're almost smoother off-road, which is insane, but they handle all the bumps. They handle nice, slow off-roading, which is what I usually do. But when you want to step on it, they do handle quite nicely. Everything is adjustable, so you can adjust them how you see fit. Brandon went ahead and adjusted them and said, don't touch these, they should be perfect. They have been. I've had zero issues. It rides like a dream, can't complain. So that's what we did for shocks. We did their billet upper control arm. This also gives you some extra movement when you're doing your alignment. So we'll talk about this in a future video, but 35s, I fit perfect. So no rubbing or anything. I don't have anything extreme done to this, and it's fitting perfect. So that's all thanks to the upper control arms. Those billet upper control arms allow for extra caster movement without actually negatively affecting your caster. Pretty neat. Okay, so on top of all of that stuff, we also went with hydraulic bump stops on the front and rear. On the front, this is a weldable cam that you have to do. On the rear, you'll see it. It's kind of just, it goes into your spring perch, and it's a really easy install, and it's super cool. It's beyond worth it too. Let's start making our way back now. So in the rear end, we went ahead and replaced, again, this is a 250,000 mile truck. So everything OEM pretty much had to go. So all of the links were replaced with Dobinsons links. So the upper links, the lower links, even the Panhard bar, all of that was replaced, and you should have seen it. Those bushings were completely rotted out. That thing, I can't believe it was still driving. It was pretty much riding on airbags only. So we went ahead and replaced all the links. They're way beefier. When you go Dobinsons and you go with their whole long travel kit in the rear, it seems like you gain maybe an inch or so of extra travel just due to the links, which is really cool. They bend around the axle versus bending trying to go through the axle, which is what OEM does. So all the links were replaced. Like I said before, I went with the hydraulic bump stops in the rear. However, since it doesn't use you don't have to use your factory mounting location. If you do, you have to weld. So we decided not to do that, and what we did instead is we actually ran Perry parts extended bump stops in the rear along with the hydraulic bump stops. So it's just kind of double the cushion. There's a whole specs that Dobinson says to do if you do it like this. You follow them to a T, and this thing rides like a dream in the rear. On those heavy G-out moments, on those heavy, impact collisions right there, it feels great on the rear end, which is crazy because this thing is heavy. So on top of that, we also have the C49 701Vs, I think. These are the extended variable rate springs. So these are really big springs. They're quite literally ginormous. They go in the rear of this thing. They hold all the weight up that I could need back there, along with being extended travel. So they allow for a lot more travel without the worry of that spring popping out, like airbags normally do. We also removed those airbags. So the airbags in the rear are gone. We went ahead and deleted those. That was a kind of a fun thing to do. I just cut something and it kind of exploded like a balloon. That was all removed. And then obviously, again, we went with MRR, the Dobinsons MRR in the rear, and those things are dialed. So again, the rear end right now feels amazing. And the front end, for not being a long travel kit, it feels so great up there. We also did the Keith Panhard correction. All this does is makes your Panhard bar sit parallel to your axle, which is what you want and how it sits OEM. But once you go to a lift, it kind of extends everything. I see a lot of 3rd gen 4Runners like this, but they'll have pretty much almost a straight up Panhard bar. You want that to be as parallel as possible to your axle. So Keith actually sells an extension kit. I think Dr. KDS also sells one that's a bolt-on if you don't want to weld. But we went with the Keith just because I like how it looks. It does the same function as the Dr. KDSS, and it's cheaper if you're okay welding. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching. This has been a blast. I'm really excited. The truck rides like an absolute dream. I wouldn't change a single thing. I will be doing a few other upgrades down the road, but we'll get to that when the video comes out. As far as the trail tested, this was supposed to go in a trail tested video to kind of test out the suspension, obviously the wheels and tires that you're seeing now, and just kind of see how it does. However, the first time I did take this off-road, it wasn't on camera. I just wanted to get out. I was not feeling great. I was sick. Didn't want to film anything. I just wanted to go have some fun in the truck. Well, on a pretty mild trail, I blew the rear end out. So 35s plus the stock 8.0, doesn't like it. This thing is a baby axle in the rear. It's actually smaller than FJs, Tacomas, and 4Runners, which is insane because it has a V8. I don't know. I don't like the rules. So on that note, I'm not going to be doing any trail tested videos until I can get a new rear end. I'm seeing a few different options. However, it's a ton of money, so I was going to wait for the funds to come through, and then I will do that upgrade and film some more content. But for now, I'm sorry, no trail tested. But you will be seeing this thing, so this thing will be at a few shows, and it's always available on my Instagram. So go follow me on Instagram if you, or go bug me on Instagram if you have any questions. But thank you so much for watching. I got to get out of here. There's a bunch of ants over there that have been eyeing my legs this whole time. So see you guys in the next one. Remember to adventure further. I'll catch you guys later.